Thanks, Deputy Speaker. Well, Deputy Speaker, since Labor handed down their third budget, there have been numerous economists exclaiming their thoughts on what we know is a true Labor budget. And there's no doubt about it, the people of Australia are doing it really tough, not just in Queensland but in all the states and territories around Australia. It's a known fact that Australians are poor under Labor and Aussies are paying the price for their bad decisions and wrong priorities. I was contacted by a local business owner in my electorate at Bracken Ridge, Vimal, who runs a restaurant there, and he was saying that he's actually had to close his business as he can't afford to run it anymore with inflation and costs going up and up and up. And I'm saddened to hear that more and more businesses are also in this case. And this, of course, hurts consumers. It hurts the people that vote for us. Food is up 11%, housing's up 14%, there's record homelessness, gas is up 25%, electricity is up 20%, and the minister will know that insurance is up 26%. There's not a lot in this budget for Australians. It does little to tame inflation and little to ease the cost of living, and it does nothing to lower rent. It's probably doubled for most renters throughout Australia, and it does nothing to lower mortgages. The lousy $300 off electricity they offered is a drop in the ocean. It's good for 1 year. Then what happens in year 2, 3, 4, 5? Keeps going up, keeps going up. And Brendan Ryan, KPMG economist, said bringing down inflation through the energy payment and rent assistance is smoke and mirrors. Stephen Halmerick said the risk is now more real that the first interest rate cut could be delayed and that the neutral cash rate is higher than we currently estimate due to the expansionary fiscal setting and the high level of investment in the economy. And it goes on. There's a whole list of quotes from economists saying that this budget does little. So I've got some questions for the Assistant Treasurer and Minister for Financial Services. Professor of Economics Stephen Hamilton has said that this is the most irresponsible budget in recent memory. In the current and coming financial years, where the inflation crisis is at its most acute, real growth in spending is double that benchmark at 4.5% and 3.6% respectively. So why has the government put its foot on the funding accelerator when the Reserve Bank is hitting the brakes? Another question, how much more will Australian families pay the government in bracket creep due to Labor's homegrown inflation? Bracket creep's a big issue. How will that impact people? How is it economically responsible, Minister, to increase spending by twice the rate of economic growth? Deputy Speaker, I've also got questions in relation to financial advice, because financial advisors are doing it tough and paying more under this government at a time when people in our electorates right around Australia need advice. That's what they need. The budget includes several measures that will require additional ASIC levies on page 71, 179, 181 and 184 of Budget Paper 2. So my question to the Minister is how much of these additional ASIC levies will be paid for by financial advisors? On page 180 of Budget Paper 1, GST receipts in 23-24 were upgraded from the MyEFO estimate of $84,079,000 to $85,758. Does this upgrade include increased receipts due to the ATO's revised interpretation on eligibility for trustees to claim the reduced input tax credit for GSTs on fees paid for by financial advice? Deputy Speaker, a couple more questions to the Minister on financial advice. We've estimated that GST receipts have increased by $250 million because of the ATO's new interpretation. Does that account with the Minister's estimate? And finally, does this situation, Minister, accord with the government's stated aim of reducing the cost of financial advice and increasing accessibility for Australians? Now, that's the Minister's own words. So I'd love some answers in relation to that. Deputy Speaker, we're all here to represent Australians and our electorates. We want to do the best job we can. But right now, in 2024, people are doing it really, really tough. Really, really tough. And this has all happened in the last 2 years since the Albanese government were elected. There's no doubt that during the coalition years, people had more money in their pocket. They were better off. Their rents weren't as high, their mortgages weren't as high, their insurance wasn't as high. and right now they're doing it tough. We'd love answers from the minister.